In our first episode, we're going to listen to insights of Emiliano Sanchez, a business development manager at Endorphina. Endorphina is a well-known gaming studio from Prague, producing dozens of high-quality slots which are available to play across different countries and some of the biggest operators. We've asked Emiliano on how does he see the future of slots in general. Will slots remain slots, or we're entering era of RNG-based games of chance, which look completely different yet maintaining the same mechanics? Probably the biggest and the most interesting part of our conversation was about a young studio trying to make it to the top. What should you do as a young studio to grab your piece of cake? How do you make a game of slot a seasonal hit? What should you pay attention to designing the idea of the game before you actually go and present it? And finally, what is the cost of innovation if you have decided to apply it? The episode number 1 from Spinnovation Summit with Emiliano Sanchez starts right now.
Okay, we are continuing with the business panel discussion, and we started with a very wide discussion describing the basic ideas related to the innovative games and the innovative concepts. Now, this is a time to take a hard look from the business perspective. I'm delighted to announce the speakers of the panel, which is Emiliano Sanchez, Business Development Manager at Endorphina.
Hello, everyone.
It's a great honor to have a representative of a gaming studio. We're pretty much covered. And gentlemen, my first question, coming from the point that we discussed with Alex, it's being widely recognized that making a game of slot is a chance, and no one knows if this game of slot is going to be successful or not. Emiliano, as the representative of the gaming studio, can you tell us a little bit of how you guys approach the creation of the new game?
Well, and at Endorphina, we really put some effort on studying the market that we're planning to launch the game. We do a lot of emphasis on the mathematics of the game as well. At the end, a game, for it to be successful, and we usually forget about it, is the end consumer. The end consumer is not the aggregator. The end consumer is not the operator. The end consumer is the player itself. So we need a game that is going to be attractive on a mix of how much is paying back to the players, that is going to have features that is going to bring the player back, but also that is being recognized by the player, so it will also keep talking about it. So there are also factors about it around, like the social media. Social media nowadays has become a truly important factor for the success of a game, especially if you can see it now. I'm not talking also the standard social media, but also Twitch and the streamers around who are actually putting the games out there. And at the end, the game development itself is a mix of creativity that we're doing as well. So we put a lot of emphasis to all this. And we like to think that we're not offering only a game, because at the end, we don't consider ourselves as a slot provider. We consider ourselves as a game software provider. So we do a whole bunch of elements in between, from analysis, studying, creativity, design, until the final deployment of the game to try to become successful, yeah.
When making a decision to make this slot game and not this slot game, you guys operate in the mode that if it's not successful, then you lost the resources, you lost the time.
Well, at the end, it's not. I don't think you can name or point out if a game is successful, yes or no. I think all games are successful, depends on the market where they are. We've seen a variety of games that work in different markets on different operators, and it really depends on the approach that the game has taken at the end, because the whole process is a long process of development, from the initial conception idea, from the design part, the mathematics parts, the development part, and then deployment part, and the follow-up. Because that's one of the main difference that we like to think that Endorphina does at the end. It's not about dumping games into all platforms and aggregators that they want, but trying to reach out for the actual end-up user players through social media and trying to do follow-up with the operators.